이 어두운 곳에서 어떤 두려움을 마주하게 되더라도 부디 따뜻한 마음을 가지고 들여다보아 주시죠. 잘못된 엔딩은 없습니다. 잘못된 선택도 없어요. 오직 새로운 관점과 새로운 시작만이 존재합니다. 이건 사랑에 관한 이야기죠. 네? 갑자기 오우 쉣. 어우 쉣. 사랑? 사랑? 갑자기 웬 사랑이지? 자, 한번 본격적으로 시작해보도록 합시다. 슬레이더프린세스. 대체 얼마나 대작이길래 스팀에서 그렇게나 압도적으로 긍정적을 받는지 한번 확인해보도록 하죠. 고! 챕터 1. 공주와 영웅. 영웅?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
야, 풀더빙이야. 미쳤나봐. 일단 세이브하자. 아, 퀵세이브가 있군요. 잠깐만, 퀵세이브? 좋아요.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
미친. 야. 아니 뭐가 이렇게 많습니까? 야, 미친 스크롤이 있어. 맨 밑에 거부터 한번 해볼까요?
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
이 자식 나 비꼬는 거 보니까 스텔린가? 호, 아직도 많습니다. 야, 뭐가 이렇게 많아요? 진짜 많다. 와, 야 이거 어쩐지 도전 과제가 90개 정도 됐거든? 루트 같은 거 설정하는 동안에 엔딩 보기도 어렵네요. 자, 어디 가볼까? 조용히 오두막 반대 방향으로 계속 걸어갑니다.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
거슬리는 목소리는 무시하세요.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved.
이 자식 강제로 인도했네. 돌아서서 다시 떠난다. 또 다시.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
어쩌라고요? 조용히 돌아섭시다.
Your silence is deafening.
어쩌라고?
But fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
설마 또?
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to
우주가? 이젠 우주까지 갑니까?
confrontation with the princess.
우주가 바란다라. 아, 그래. 오, 드디어 말을 하는군요. 스크롤 없습니다. 어차피 소용없지. 저도만 들어가야 하는 거지. 아, 그래? 그럼 다시 다른 방향으로 하지 뭐. 이곳에서 나갈 방법 찾을 때까지 숲속을 헤맬 거야. 난 이거다.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
이 자식 400을 넘는다고 해서 아주 그냥 그까지 딜을 꽂아버리네. 하지만 뭐
And
어때?
here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of
미친.
light.
오두막밖에 없습니다.
In
에?
every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you
이거
need
미친
to be.
답장너잖아.
Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
오, 잘 이해하고 있군요, 해설자가.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
오, 엔딩입니까? 오, 챕터 2! 낯선 존재. 챕터가 이어지긴 하는군요.
You're on a path.
아, 아니구나.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
야, 이 챕터라는 게 계속 진행을 하면서 제목만 바뀌나 보다. 호, 이건 이거대로 또 흥미롭군요.
You're here to slay her.
좋아요. 자, 조용히 오두막에 간다. 그래, 알아들었어. 오두막에 갈게. 한번 뭐 알았어. 이제 진짜로 오두막에 가서 공주를 죽일게. 거짓말이군요. 아, 또 잠깐만, 대사가 다른데? 저번에는 그래 좋아 어디 혁명적으로 공주를 죽여볼까 이게 있었는데 사라졌습니다. 거짓말이 생겼고요. 난 죽었는데 세계는 멸망이고 내가 왜 여기 있지? 이것도 새로 생겼습니다. 이 개자식 이제 알겠다. 내 속옷에 더 이상은 소용없어. 새로운 게 계속 생기는군요. 대사까지도 다 새로워지다니 이게 말이 됩니까? 자, 좋아요. 하지만 난 죽었어. 세계는 멸망했어. 왜 내가 여기 있지?
I can assure you that you're not dead and that the princess has yet to end the world. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And to answer your question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago.
해설자 참 친절하네요.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
아니, 누구 맘대로.
I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
아니, 지가 소개하네. 한심한 목소리 무시하고 일에 집중하려고. 그 한심한 목소리가 바로 너잖아, 이 멍청아. 대야, 스파니 안녕하시고요. 모두 반갑습니다. 대야 반갑습니다. 조용히 오두막에 간다. 그래, 알아들어서 오두막 갈게. 이제는 뭐 알았어. 이제 진짜로 오두막 가서 공주 죽일게. 거짓말도 있습니다. 날 강제로. 아, 그러네. 저번에 이런 벽 없었어. 이런 벽은 없었다. 야, 숲속에 애초에 벽이 있을 리가 없지 않습니까? 거짓말을 해봅시다. 이제 진짜로 오두막 가서 공주를 죽일게.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
아이, 그러네.
A warning before you go any further.
그래, 내가 구라빵을 쳐도 너는 알겠구나. 맞는 말입니다. 바로 치고 거짓말이라고 돼 있는데 모를 리가 없지 않습니까?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
오두막에 들어간다. 이제는 하나밖에 없습니다. 가보죠. Let's go. 자, 우리 공주님이 기다리고 있으려나?
Wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all the only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths. Its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. But when everything here is so wrong.
여기 마치 TRPG 같네요. 나레이션 혼자서 모든 목소리를 대신해주고 있어.
Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, you've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
난 이미 자신을 잃었어.
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
난 이게 뭔 상황인지 모르실 분들을 위해서 간단히 설명할게요. 아무도 모릅니다. 다짜고짜 시작하더니 세계를 구하고 싶으면 공주를 죽이래요. 그래서 여기 오두막으로 도착을 했고요. 그 오두막 앞에서 들어가자마자 이런 난장판이 있을 뿐입니다. 와중에 이거 배경이 앞에 있는 오브젝트는 그대로고 위에 있는 백그라운드만 움직이게 만들어놨네. 단검을 가져가자. 거울에 다가갑시다. 벽에 걸린 거울에 대해선 말하지 않았잖아. 일단 거울에 다가갑시다.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't... What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
닦아보죠. 그럼 내 모습이 보일까요?
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. There was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
주인공이 왕자는 아닌 것 같은데? 애초에 인간은 아닌 것 같은데? 단검을 가져간다. 지하실에 들어간다. 지하실에 그냥 한번 들어가 볼까요? 단검 없이? Go.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to
역겨운
it.
냄새가 난다.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
네?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die.
벌써부터 좀 골치가 아픈데?
We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
왼쪽 거친 계단, 중앙의 계단, 오른쪽에 부드러운 계단입니다. 거친 계단을 한번 찾아봅시다. 내 거친 생각이 왼쪽으로 기울어지고 있습니다. Let's go.
You step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet, the impact of each step sending pulsing vibrations up your legs, until the air around you grows cold the further you progress. But your toes feel like blocks of ice, your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor. You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
계단을 내려갈 때 그건 환상이었군요. 난 계속 일단 내려가고 있긴 했구나.
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems... normal.
일단 간만에 한번 세이브를 할까요? 퀵 세이브. 원래 단검 있는 곳에 한번 세이브하면 좋았을 것 같긴 하다. 미안, 내가 여기 왔는지 모르겠다. 이름이 뭡니까? 이곳을 내려오는 길은 이상했다. 넌 세상에 대한 명백한 위험이고 난 널 죽이기 위해 보내줬다. 이유를 알고 싶어. 왜 갇혔을까요? 일단 우리 서로를 알아보도록 할까요? 너 이름이 뭐니? 오마에와 나마에와.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
근방지군요.
Hey, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her,
아니 이거 이게 뭐야 이거 뭔 상황인지 이해가 안 되네.
we can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back?
해설자야, 그냥 좀 돌려놓으면 안 돼?
You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her.
자아분열 시켜보게? 내가 늘어났어. 이상했어. 내가 알기로는 이유가 있어 갇혔어. 그 이유를 알고 싶다. 단검을 다시 가져온다. 널 풀어주기 위해서 공주를 풀어준다. 내 정체는 모르지만 널 믿을 수 없다. 지하실에 감둔다. 요거는 선택지가 다 중복인데요. 뭐지? 안녕하시고요. 태아태아 반갑습니다. 멤버십 가입 정말로 감사드립니다. 태아태아 반갑습니다. 자, 가볼까요? 일단 요거 한 번 더 이유 물어보면은 한 번 더 분열하지 않을까?
Maybe it's because I'm dangerous. But
좋아.
you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen, or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
이거 이제 보니까 살짝 메타버스에 있는 공주들의 그 반응인 것 같은데?
I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her.
공주 너 혹시 T야?
맞는 것 같은데요. 아니면은 그런 걸 수도 있어. 원래는 굉장히 감성적인 친구였는데 내가 초반에 반항을 좀 많이 하다 보니까 이 친구가 굉장히 반항심 있게 변해버린 거지. 그런 가능성도 없지 않아 있군요.
It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
내가 늘어났는데 그러니까 이제 이 관련 없는 질문들을 계속 하다 보면은 분열하는 것 같습니다. 그럼 계속 분열을 시켜보죠. 이곳에 오는 동안 이건 굉장히 이상했어. 마치 내가 찢어졌다고 하에 다시 붙은 느낌이다. 내게 무슨 일이 일어난 건지 알겠나?
What, like you need me to hold your hand to tell you everything's okay? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here? Oh, I thought they would send something better to deal with me. If the stairs manage to chew you up, I will devour you.
쉣.
Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart
야, 심지어
too.
다른 자아가 말하고 있어.
It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
내가 널 내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이야? 내가 늘어났는데? 아마 두 마리? 한 마리? 더 늘어나면 끝날 것 같기도 하고 내가 널 내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이지?
I don't think what I'd do really matters, does it? I could
좋아요.
tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. You either trust me or you believe that I'm dangerous. What I say won't change how you already feel about me. Besides, you already know what I'm going to do.
쉣.
If you want to put an end to me, then put an end to me.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction, it's infuriating, isn't it? Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under? Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
이젠 하나밖에 없다. 단 하나밖에 없어. 단 하나입니다. 세이브는 따로 이제 빈슬롯으로도 이런 식으로 세이브가 가능하군요. 자, 별 수 없습니다.
Wait, that's not right.
왜?
Go on.
에?
You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride.
야, 이거 좀 가까워진 것 같지 않냐?
You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone.
미친. 잠깐만 있어봐. 오, 화면이 너무 많고 분열돼 있어가지고 누가 누구를 지금 구해주는 건지 알 수가 없어. 잠깐만. 그러니까 내 손에 단검이 주어졌고 공주를 죽이려고 단검을 들고 돌진함과 동시에 공주를 풀어주려고 단검으로 사슬을 끊었다? 이걸 동시에 했다는 거야?
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What
진짜
an unbearable mess.
진짜 엉망진창이네.
But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
맞는 것 같아. 그러니까 이제 메타버스에 있는 공주가 모든 분기가 다 있는데 그게 지금 동시에 일어나는 거야. 미친.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
왓더.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we?
아이고.
Parts of us that are dead and others
아이고 노이로제 걸리겠네.
don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this.
이 초장부터 이게 진짜 뭔 난리야 지금.
How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
최선을 다해볼게. 아 싫어. 내가 모든 걸 파괴했잖아. 아무 말도 하지 않는다. 침묵을 해주면 어떨지도 좀 궁금하긴 하네요. 한번 죽닥치고 근데 죽닥치고 있어봤자 자극하는 거니까 뭐 최선은 다 해볼게. 왓또? 에? 돌아갔는데? 하지만 그녀는 당신의 대답을 듣지 못할 것이다. 그녀는 사라졌고 그 자리를 무언가가 대신하고 있다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
해설자가 사라졌다. 아무래도 거울을 들여다봐야겠다. 거울에 가볼까?
I'm begging you, don't do.
영웅의 목소리, 생각해보니까 영웅의 목소리도 해설자가 그냥 해주는 거잖아. 어쩌면 이건 내 목소리는 아니잖아. 나는 아니잖아요. 그를 무시한다. 지금까지 거울을 보고 겁낸 적은 없었잖아.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
돌아가는 거야? 하지만 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 그렇군요. 얘가 난의 플레이어입니다.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
당신이 다가가자 목소리들이 자꾸 멀게 느껴집니다. 내 자신을 바라본다. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 모두들 사라졌어. 하지만 거울은 그대로 있다. 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 때다. 당신이다. 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 혼자 서 있다. 고요하다. 오두막에 간다. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 갑니다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
이게 뭐야? 야, 뭔가 분위기가 살짝 마지막 비밀을 아는 것 같은 느낌인데? 이게 어떻게 된 거지? 아니, 게임 시작한 지 얼마나 됐어? 30분? 30분도 아니네. 그래, 30분 정도 됐네. 아니, 이게 세상의 멸망이야? 연약한 그릇? 넌 뭐야? 바깥 세상에 대해 알아?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
뭐 그렇긴 하죠. 넌 뭐지?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
굉장히 시적인 표현이네요. 고독한 빛? 넌 내가 뭐라고 생각해? 난 내가 뭔지 모르겠어. 탐색이구나.
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
넌 내가 뭐라고 생각해?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
연약한 그릇? 계속해서 물어볼 수 있군요. 야, 근데 왜 이렇게 아련해졌냐? 연약한 그릇?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
난 당신들의 다른 이면을 본 적이 없습니다. 지금 이게 당신의 처음이라고요. 미친. 아니, 그녀를 풀어줘. 혹시 해설자에 대해서 알아? 그녀를 풀어줘.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
혹시 해설자에 대해서 알아?
You are the only thing I have ever known.
해설자는 또 별개의 존재인가 보군요.
The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
내가 공주를 죽이라고 날 보낸 거야? 내가 날 여기 가뒀어?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
바깥 세상에 대해서는 알아?
I know only that they are.
내가 공주야?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
내가 처음으로 공주였다는 거야? 아니면 내가 공주를 내 일부분으로 만든 거야?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
와, 또 생겼습니다. 일단은 여기서 잠깐만 세이브 합시다. 와씨 미친 게임 시작부터 이게 뭔 스스로 몸을 파괴한다가 생겼어. 우리는 서로 아는 사이인가?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
이제 어떻게 되지?
Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
와, 씨. 아, 새로운 선택지가 더 늘어났습니다. 미친. 아니, 이게 뭐, 아, 단서를 주고 있네. 그러니까 이거 아마 제가 다른 루트 분기에 있는 공주들을 또 살리거나 그러면은 이제 또 다양한 이 공주들의 자아와 그릇들이 뭉쳐지는 것 같은 뉘앙스인 것 같아. 얘는 지금 다 뿔뿔이 흩어져 있는 거지. 자, 내가 널 죽일 방법을 찾을까봐 두렵진 않니?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
호, 그럼 반대로 말하면 살아있음에 가까워지는 완전체가 되면 죽음에 대해 두려워할지도 모른다는 거군요. 난 어디까지 잊어버리게 돼?
Everything. Until we meet again.
오케이. 내 조각들을 얼마나 더 찾아야 하지?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
내가 허락하지 않겠다면?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
기다린다가 있군요. 난 공주가 세상을 파괴하는 것을 막기 위해 공주를 죽이라는 부탁을 받았어. 내가 널 도우면 넌 세상을 파괴할 거야?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
의미론적인 말이잖아. 그래서 널 도우면 구체적으로 어떻게 되는데?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
허. 여기까지인 것 같습니다. 돌아갈 생각 없다 기다린다가 있군요. 일단 여기까지만 일단 세이브. 그리고 마침 분위기가 그거 같아. 다크 소울에서 뭔가 한번 거하게 시작될 것 같기 직전에 뭔가 NPC랑 대화하는 느낌 있잖아. 화방녀랑 대화하는 그런 느낌이야. 일단 안돼 돌아갈 생각 없어. 안돼 돌아가.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
좋아요. 영원히 영원히 기다린다. 오 세상에. 잠깐만요. 영원히 기다린다가 있네. 이게 뭐 말도 안 되는. 전 언제나 청개구리이기 때문에 한번 영원히 기다려보도록 합시다. 자, 네가 이기나 내가 이기나 해보자.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage?
마치 내 모습처럼.
You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
여러분 게임이 꺼졌어. 그래 영원히 기다릴 거야? 알았어. 그래 그냥 그럼 너 꺼져라. 뭐야?
Though you were gone mere moments, I
야
never
잠깐만.
left your
야 화면이.
side.
쉣. 아이 깜짝이야. 아니 와 씨. 영원이라는 게 진짜 물리적으로 영원이구나. 와 대단하다. 그래 제 4의 벽을 넘으려면 프로그램을 잘 짜야죠. 돌아왔군요. 짧은 시간이었는데 야 심지어 짧은 시간 긴 시간 이런 것도 카운팅 하나 보네요. 훌륭합니다. 그럼 만약에 한 50년 후에 돌아오면은 너 뭐라고 말할 거니? 그것도 좀 궁금하다. 전 당신 곁을 떠나지 않았죠. 훌륭합니다. 좋아 있게 해줘. 이젠 단 하나밖에 없습니다. 저희들은 엔딩을 보고 싶으니까 한번 가보도록 합시다.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
그녀가 당신에게 자신을 기억해달라고 한다고?
You won't.
하지만 기억하지 못하고 모든 것은 어두워지며 당신은 죽습니다. 챕터 1으로 넘어갑니다. 이번에는 순순히 한번
You're on
따라볼까요?
a path in the woods. You're here.
자, 그게 무슨 소리야? 탐색이 굉장히 많다. 좋아. 군주의 목을 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세. 그렇군. 설명해줘서 고마워. 이번엔 친절하게 한번 해보죠.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job.
자식.
You make your way up the short path. A warning.
좋아요. 경고 하나 합시다. 그렇죠. 이 말도 한번 들었죠. 절대로 그녀를 믿지 마라. 갑시다. 혁명 만세. 나 참 선택지가 참 독특하죠.
The interior of the cabin is
깔끔하네.
almost
깔끔하네.
complete as
자, 단검을 가져갑시다.
you take the blade from the table.
좋아요. 지하실로 들어가죠. 이번에는 좀 스무스할 것 같습니다.
The door to the
스무스하네요.
basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
안녕. 괜찮은지 보러 왔다. 조용히 계단을 내려가 보죠.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
내가 왜 그러겠어. 아직 결정하지 않았어. 결의를 굳히고 다가간다. 그냥 이번엔 순순히 나레이션이 하는 말 그대로 한번 진행해 봅시다. Let's go.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
이놈 자식 봐라. 시작부터 아주 그냥 오만하게 짝이 없네.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
자신 있단 소리군요.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
허세일 수도 있지만 말이야.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
정말 비무장이 확실해? 그냥 대화할까? 당음을 떨어뜨린다. 허풍이 아니라면 공주가 우리를 죽이라면 어떨까 생각인데 탐색을 일단 좀 해보자.
You go into this expecting to die. You're going to die.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
당금을 떨어뜨릴 생각은 없어.
Then I'm not talking to you.
좋아. 그럼 교착 상태네. 좋아. 그럼 교착 상태네. 갑자기 개그.
I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already.
하하. 해설자 미안해. 근데 나도 무서워. 아니 저렇게 당당하게 나가는데 야 저거 딱 봐도 패기가 있잖아. 그러다가 내가 죽으면 어떡해.
Or drop the blade. Do something.
자, 정말 대화할 생각 없어? 진짜 없어?
Yeah, I'm sure.
젠장 기회를 놓쳐버렸네.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be the one to take the initiative here.
뭔가 여기 있는 내가 입을 삐죽 내밀면서 힝 어떡하지? 하는 표정이 지금 머릿속에 훤해. 자, 떨어뜨리자. 죽이자. 그래 까짓 거 한번 해봅시다.
charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
What the?
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
아니 미친 공주 개잘 싸움.
We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
아니 공주 왜 잘 싸움?
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you, completely broken. I'd be lying.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of you. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
아니 미친 공주 왜 잘 싸우냐고요? 성체 챕터
You're
2입니다.
on a path. You're
좋아요,
here.
여기까지 비슷하군요. 오도마이 간다. 끔찍한 데자뷰가 느껴져.
A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
그래.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe you know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her.
야 이번엔 절망의
She's just
목소리가
going to
들려.
kill us again.
아까는 반항의 목소리더니 이번엔 절망의 목소리야. 야 이거 자아가 점점 늘어나는데요. 마치 맨 처음에 멀티버스에서 그녀들이 자아가 분열한 것처럼 말이죠.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
자, 단순한 데자뷰가 아니야. 이 모든 일이 분명 방금 일어났어.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it.
그래 알겠다. 왜 내가 내 말을 들어야 해? 이 모든 일 의미는 있어?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving.
그래 어디 한번 씹으려봐.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or
그래
at least a version
가정이구나.
of me.
인정이 아니라 가정이다.
You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
뭐 그 말은 맞지.
Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die. What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right.
아니 죽이는 거 겁나 어렵더만. 야 겁나 잘 싸우던데.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her... Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
해설자가 위로해주는 거 봐라. 공주에 대해 아직도 야 우유부단의 끝판왕이다 진짜. 공주에 대해서 이야기를 해볼까?
Just be quick about it.
빨리 끝내시죠. 겁나 많은 야씨 무지하게 많아. 아니 뭐 자 지난번 내 표현을 빌리자면 그녀는 그저 공주라고 했잖아. 그런 사람이 어떻게 날 죽도록 패일 만큼 강한 건데 이건 좀 나도 궁금하다.
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your... Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
아 그때 방심을 틈 타서 찌르는 것도 괜찮을 것 같고.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone. Yourself.
근데 지난번에 공주가 날 죽였어. 다시 생기지 않는 일은 허덕시네. 이거는 뭐 물어보나 마나군요. 근데 누가 그녀를 진열실에 가뒀어? 여긴 대체 어떤 곳이지?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
그래도 최소한 전처럼 숲속에 벽은 안 세워놨군요. 그지 같은 것들아. 참나. 숨기는 게 뭐야?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. The less you know about her, the better.
하지만 저희들은 이미 알고 있죠. 주인공은 기억하지 못하겠지만 저희들은 이미 이 사건에 대한 진상을 밝힐 가능성을 알고 있습니다. 사람들이 그녀를 가뒀으면 왜 그자들은 공주를 죽이지 않는 거지?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are.
아, 그거 참 대단도 하시네요. 세상의 멸망을 위해서 반드시 쓰러뜨려야 하는 용사가 그 상대는 공주님? 하! 참나.
Oh, I didn't know we were special.
공주를 처리하는 영웅이라 훌륭하군.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Who cares if you think we're special? As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience
절망아,
painfully
제발.
dying
아니.
all over again.
야, 얘 뭔가 슬픔이 같아. 미치겠네. 겁나 비관적이야. 지난번에 공주가 날 죽였는데 그런 게 안 생길 일이라고 어떻게 확신해?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job and save the world.
근데 생각해보니까 나는 일단 인간이 아니잖아요. 그럼 내가 마왕이면은 공주를 처리하는 게 세계를 구하는 거다. 그럼 마족 입장에서는 그게 말이 되긴 하는데. 그래, 그게 다야.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
그래, 알았다. 자, 돌아서서 떠난다. 그날리 치고 떠난다. 그래, 갈게. 갑시다.
A warning before you go any further.
그래.
She will lie.
그래, 이거 말했고.
Cheating?
아, 이번엔 절망이가 추가.
She didn't need to do anything like that last time.
절망이 목소리 추가.
She caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our
야,
wits about us.
그래, 정신 똑띠 차려라.
At least one of you still has a shred of sense.
Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
하하하, 징징대지 좀 말고. 그래, 갑시다.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say.
아유, 절망아, 제발. 미치겠네. 이래서 원래 주변 인물 중에서 절망.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its
아니,
edge.
뭔 상황이야, 이건 또.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
진짜로 작아진 거 그게 아니라 주변이 커진 거 아니야?
We don't feel small. We are small.
뭐 진짜로 작아진 거라고? 지난번과 다른데?
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been
아니,
here.
그게
I
아니라.
hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
미치겠네. 자, 단검을 벽에 걸린 거울에 대해서 말하지 않았잖아.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
진짜 너무 당당하게. 저기 거울이 없는데요? 아니, 없는데요?
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway.
절망아, 아이고,
I'm sure that if we
미치겠네.
looked in there,
절망이가 한술 더
just see
떠요.
something sad and miserable looking back at us.
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. Probably. Do you not know what we look like?
He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
이건 절망이가 일리가 있다. 침묵을 유지하자. 내 얼굴 보고 싶어. 잘생긴 내 얼굴 말이야. 오. 휙휙
Please don't. I'd
가자.
rather the princess kill us again than see
아이
how
절망아.
dreadful
넌 좀
we are.
가만히
I
있으렴.
care less about what we look like and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us?
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless?
거울에 다가갑시다.
You walk up to the
이번엔
wall
볼 수
next to the
있을까요?
basement.
This really isn't funny.
거울을 다가봅시다.
You
역시 또
reach
사라졌네요.
forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
역시
I hope
일단
you know
인간의
how
모습은
ridiculous
아닙니다.
you look right now. We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
그래 좋아요. 단검을 가져갑시다.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a...
좋아요. 지하실로 가보죠. 그래도 돌문은 열리네요.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing
Oh.
a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
이번엔 악취가 아니라 향기가 나나봐.
This is actually kind of
절망이가
nice.
처음으로 긍정적인 말을 하는군.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
어라? 이거 그 세계관 중에서 가장 오만방자한 것 이상으로 미친 그 공주 세계관인 것 같은데?
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
이건 깍듯이 돼야 될 것
We
같은데요?
need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
이미 홀린 것 같은데?
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
자, 내려갑시다.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
저기요, 이건 이미 보스인데요. 내 키에 한 10척은 커 보이는데?
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity.
칼을 가지고 있는 걸 이미 알고 있습니다.
Drop it.
하지만 나 세계를 구하기 위해 이곳에 찾아온 용사. 절대로 이번엔 포기하지 않는다.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor.
아니 나 안 떨어뜨린다고 더 꽉 찐다고 하지 않았나?
But we didn't drop it.
아,
We decided to grip
그러게.
it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
절망이는 진작에 얘를 추앙하는 것 같은데?
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
끌어라. 싫어.
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
끌어라. 이게 너와 나의 눈높이다.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk?
어디서부터 대화인 거죠? 저기 공주님 어디서부터 대화인지 모르겠습니다. 새로 오신 미호분들 하대.
The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed.
아니 엔딩은 봐야 될 거 아니에요.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our
그래 해설자
conversation
이제야
in the woods.
인정하는군.
Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
아니 나도 가만히 있고 싶은데 내가 세상을 멸망시키려 들어서 침묵을 유지하고 싶은데 야 그게 마음대로 되겠냐고.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen? You're less broken than I thought.
Jesus.
Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she
절망아
wants.
너 좀 가만히 좀 있어.
No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
선택지는 있는데 선택할 순 없음. 미치겠네. 단검을 줍자.
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. You
일어나자.
can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To defy me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What?
What?
You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
이 끝장이 야 주어 어디서 주어가 필요한데? 이 녀석을 끝장낸다가 필요한데?
Oh, we'll end this all right.
아.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
스스로 끊는다. 공주를 죽이자.
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson.
하, 내가 죽는 것보다 더 끔찍한 상황이 있겠어?
Plunge that knife into your lungs.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Don't. As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her. It's what she wants.
절망아.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god.
원래 인간은 항상 오만 방자에 있어. 이 오만 방자한 신 같은 느냐고.
It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
아니, 난 포기하지 않아.
Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
그래 봤자 이거 반복하면 나도 곧 죽어.
Continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement.
You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand.
그러니까 해설자 좀 도와줘봐.
My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just...
Stop.
오니.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me.
좋아, 성공이다.
You are different than you were before.
야, 원래 피를 토하며 원래 평범한 놈보다 반항적인 남자한테 끌리게 돼 있어. 피를 흘리며 내가 이겨. 피를 흘리며 어때요, 여왕님? 저 여태까지 잘했죠?
Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
필요 없어.
There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it. Not as an equal, but as something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
애완동물?
Well, that's demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it.
절망이 미치겠네.
I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this.
야, 와중에 여러분 소름 끼치는 게 있는데 이거 마우스 포인트 잘 보면은 이게 사실 칼을 들고 있는 손 모양이거든요, 이 마우스 포인터가. 근데 이 마우스 포인터 어느 순간 끝이 피로 물들었습니다. 이거 내 피겠죠? 디테일 죽여주네요.
At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
호호, 여기는 세이브를 해봅시다. 결과가 두 가지 있을 테니까 그게 좀 궁금하네요. 일단 여기다 세이브. 저는 공주님 것입니다. 공주에게 충성을 맹세한다. 싫다고 저항한다가 않는다. 공주를 죽이다.
No.
Yes. Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of
야,
unyielding
아킬레스건을.
She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh. We can do this, can't we? You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
절망아, 가만히 있어.
Shut up.
그래, 잘한다 우리 영웅이.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You heathen!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet.
어떤 텍스트는 자동이군요. 미안해.
There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
아, 로고 볼 수 있구나. 하지만 뭐 일단 계속 진행합시다.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
그러니까 펫이 아니라 반려로 삼는다고 하면 생각 좀 해봤을 거. 피를 흘리며.
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine.
오.
She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear as the two of you perish together. I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we?
야, 진짜 쓰러뜨렸어. 미친.
Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
아. 오, 챕터 3. 챕터 3가 됐어. What the. 나중에 절망아, 너 왜 그래?
And at the end of the path, okay.
절망아, 왜 그래? 아유, 진짜 거슬려 줄 건데. 가만히 좀 있어.
I think he's upset.
그러게.
What's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
이번엔 우리 싸움이가 나왔어요. 아, 미치겠네 이거. 야, 이거 인사이드 아웃입니까? 야, 이거 자아가 계속 생겨나는데요. 지금 있는 게 우리 영웅이, 그리고 이제 우리 절망이, 그리고 싸움이. 네, 해설자는 어디 갔죠?
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful.
자신의 신을 죽여서 빡쳤나 보네요.
Ever will be.
아이고 씨.
You're damn right we did. You'll get over it.
반항적으로 싸워서 싸움이가 나왔나 보네요.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed.
그건 맞지.
You're being too generous. He did get us killed. Alright, enough chatter. I've got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions.
좋아요. 일단 해설인은 아직 있군요. 해설자 있네요.
Okay, great. You're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a...
If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her. It's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it?
숲이라기보다는 뭐 거의 장기인데요.
This is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly, you've already been here.
Yeah, you think? Actually, I don't think we have been.
여기는 처음 와보는데.
This is all different,
누가 아니래.
isn't it?
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted.
So you knew this could happen? You knew we'd be able to restart like this?
I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me.
That's not really an answer.
Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
그래, 알았다. 어허, 드디어 뭔가 여거저거 알 수 있군요. 아따, 미치겠습니다. 이게 대체 뭔 일이야? 무슨 일이 일어날 예정이군. 정답은 오두막이 있는 모양이군. 진행해보자. 얘 질렸어. 안녕. 여기서 도망친다고? 도망치면 또 그 친구 만나게 되겠죠. 아마도 비디오입니다. 이번 공주는 어떻게 됐을까요? 내부로 더 알고 있는 게 있다고 했잖아. 자, 어쨌든 모든 건 일단 오두막이나 갑시다. 의미가 없다. 오두막은 정상이군요.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know.
That's it? No final words of advice?
그러니까
I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
야, 이거 절망이만 속안에서 입을 꼬매는 건 못하냐?
Oh, cut it out.
그래,
will you?
썸군.
We need to be tough right now. And you're making it so much harder than it has to be. So stop whining.
그래, 질질 짜지 마, 이 징징아. 자, 갑시다. 이번 오두막은 어떻게 생겼을까요?
The interior of the
젠장,
cabin is a place
이게
that
뭐야?
feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight.
이번엔 바로 앞에 거울이 있는데.
But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this.
얘는 꼭 말을 해도.
The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
그래, 알았다. 단검 가져가자.
You take the blade from the pedestal. It will be difficult good.
그래.
Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel.
이 서늘하고 묵직한 감각. 해설자 미안해요. 다시는 안 뽑으려고 했는데. 하지만 마음에 듭니다. 이걸로 또 공주를 끝장내야겠군요. 거울에 다가가자.
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. Almost as if you don't see it. But you must, because it's right there in front of you. All we see is a damn mirror.
It really is just like last time. Are we really hallucinating? Why here? Why now? Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her.
Don't you want to know what we'll see in there? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it. Nah, I'm with him on this one. Smash it! Let's get violent already. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
닦는다, 쳐 부순다. 쳐 부수면은 칼 부서지는 거 아니야?
You reach
닦아볼까요?
forward and drag your hand across the door leading to
좋아요,
the
이제야 좀
basement.
문이 보이는군요.
As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised?
You step forward into the darkness.
빛이 없나 봅니다.
The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence. The metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
분노의 소리가 들린다고 합니다.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart?
이 자식 아직 살아 있어요.
Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good. She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination. And we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
It doesn't matter what we are. She needs slaying. And we've got the means to do it. So let's get a move on. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here. And it's why your task is so important.
가봅시다. 어떻게 생겼을까요,
You
지금은?
make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are
쉣,
painted
이거
in
그냥
blood,
디아블로.
a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone.
그냥 지옥에 있는 여왕님 같은데요.
The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
저기가 약점이겠군.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
와중에 여러분 잘 보시면 저거 하이힐 있잖아. 하이힐 굽이 그냥 뼈인데요.
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. Then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Let her end it. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
여기서부턴 텍스트 전투인 것 같아. 자, 잘 선택해서 이겨보도록 합시다. 그럴 필요 없어. 야, 어차피 흥분 상태라서 더 이상 대화가 안 먹힐 겁니다. 끝장내주지. 공주를 죽인다. 공주에게 죽임을 당한다. 자, 마무리 시켜주지. 가자.
You'll try. And that's what I've been so excited for. Let's hurt each
Your heart free of fear, you charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow.
It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of
명예로운 삶을, 영광스러운 죽음을.
With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
시작부터? 씨, 뭐 얼마나 했다고.
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh. I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
What? 아니? 그녀가 데려갔구나. 오케이, 첫 번째 그릇은 일단 회수. 그녀의 말대로 당신은 그녀의 손에 죽지 않는다. 이제 떠날 시간이야. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
괜찮을 거야, 날 믿어. 우리는 전에도 여기 왔었고 넌 그때도 두려워했어. 이거는 내가 말하는 거네.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I don't want to look at us.
넌 끝이지만 난 끝이 아니지. 야, 넌 끝이지만 난 끝이 아니야. 조만간 또 보자. 괜찮을 거다. 거울에 다가갑시다. 당신은 거울에 다가간다.
I don't like that silence.
당신이 다가가는 순간 목소리들은 멀어지고. 가자. 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내리며 이번에도 모두가 사라졌습니다. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만들고, 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해야 합니다. 그건 바로 당신이죠. 당신은 성장했다. 성장했대. 오랜만에 그녀를 볼까요? 당신은 또다시 정막에 와있다. 오두막에 갈까요? 그녀의 모습이 조금 바뀌었을까요? 오! 가장 최근의 모습으로 바뀌나 봐. 당신은 오두막에 있습니다. Hello?
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
근데 처음 받으신 그릇이 악마의 모습이라 조금 그런데요.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
좋아요. 역시 처음 만나는 게 아니라서 설명하는 거 다 생략하는군요. 훌륭합니다. 여기서부터 이제 정보들을 좀 알아야 하니까 이제 새롭게 탐색할 걸 좀 확인을 해야 할 것 같습니다. 넌 저번과 같은 존재 얼마나 변했지?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
이게 대체 뭐예요? 수많은 세계선에서 흩어져 있는 그녀인데요. 그녀들의 모습을 하나로 모아서 완전체로 만드는 게 일단 목적인 것 같습니다. 근데 이렇게 변하니까 기분은 어떠니?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
이 모든 게 끝나면 뭘 할 겁니까?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
이 모든 일이 끝나면 내가 널 죽일 거라는 건 알고 있니?
There is still much to be seen. Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover.
야, 이것도 미심쩍네. 아니면 함께 이곳을 떠나서 새로운 지평을 발견하게 될지도 모릅니다. 호, 미심쩍은 말이군. 보이지 않는 벽이 날 가로막았어. 왜 이전과 똑같은 선택을 할 수 없지?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
야, 이거 게임 잘 만들었다. 이거 이렇게 만드는 거 되게 어렵거든요? 이미 내가 봤던 세계를 거기 있는 선택지를 블럭한다? 야, 이거 쉽지 않을 텐데, 야, 꼼꼼하게 잘 만들었군요. 넌 내가 만났던 자들 중 나를 가장 친절하게 대해줬어. 정말 고마워.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
다음엔 어떤 그릇을 원하니?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them.
호... 이 말은 마음에 드네. 받는 자에게 미리 알려주지 않는 게 선물이죠. 호...
Do not worry. There are no wrong answers. And every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
이 그릇은 어떻게 생각해?
This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. But there is passion and empathy in her misery. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace.
그럼 어떤 방향으로 성장하고 싶은지에 대해서는 딱히 원하는 게 없는 거네.
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
난 널 해치고 싶지 않다. 하지만 여정을 계속할수록 자꾸만 널 해치게 된다. 야, 탐색 겁나 많아요.
The vessels are a weave of emotion at odds with themselves, but they are only perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side.
얼마나 더 가져와야 돼?
If I am to be an ocean, you have given me enough to build a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. I will transcend in due time, and there is no way forward but to contribute to my awakening.
자, 이거 해봤자 의미 없는 건 저희들이 아주 잘 알고 있죠. 돌아갈 준비가 됐습니다.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am.
그래.
We will meet again.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽었습니다. 다시 1챕터로 공주와 영웅 다시 시작한다. 나 참.
You're on a path. You're
그래.
here.
아유, 참 익숙하다. 아, 그리고 설명줘서 고마워. 군주의 목을 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세. 이 일의 보상 같은 건 없니? 됐어. 나 안 할래. 자, 그럼 이번엔 반항을 적절하게 반항을 좀 해봅시다. 됐어. 나 안 할래.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
아, 싫어. 안 할래. 야, 이게 끝이야? 일단 오두마이 가서 공주와 대화해볼게. 만약에 정말 공주가 내 말대로 생각한다면 내가 공주를 죽일지도 모르지. 하지만 직접 만나보기 전에 아무것도 당겨질 생각이 없어. 우와. 이미 모든 풍파를 겪은 듯한 엄청난 가정에서 나오는 대사다. 자, 이걸로 합시다.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us
그래,
is
어쩌라고.
so sure. Go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
좋습니다. 이번엔 대화를 좀 해보자.
You make your way up the shore.
좋아요. 자, 대화가 중요하죠. 이번엔 단검을 안 가지고 가겠습니다. 대화가 중요하니까요.
The interior of the cabaret.
여기까지 똑같고요. 일단 지하실로 갑시다.
The door, her voice.
Hello?
오,
Is someone there?
오, 이번에 뭔가 좀 가녀린 목소리가 됐네.
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
그냥 괜찮은지 모르겠어. 거짓말도 있군요. 진심으로 말해볼까? 구해주러 왔어.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it
해설자님 일단
finally
있어
sinks in?
보세요. 일단 대화가 중요하니까.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
자, 이번엔 평범하네요.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever.
근데 이 상황 자체가 이상하긴 하거든? 왜냐면 난 인간이 아니란 말이야. 근데 쟤는 아무리 봐도 인간이란 말이야. 이미 여기에서부터 모순입니다. 그녀가 절 아무렇지 않게 반길 리가 없어요.
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
없는데.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
그 전에 잠깐 이야기 좀 하자. 한번 해보자. 이야기 좀 할 수 있을까?
Okay.
좋아요. 야, 이제야 좀 대화를 하는구나. 넌 이름이 뭐니?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
이름 하나만 하는데 왜 고민을 하니?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
저기 혹시 공주님 이름이 어떻게 되세요? 제 이름은 김공주입니다. 농담도 잘해라. 이름이 뭐예요? 아니 진짜 김공주라고요. 아니 공주님 이름이 뭐냐고요? 아니 공주라니까요.
Is
그래, 알았다.
Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
어이가 없네. 그럼 공주가 이름이니? 자식, 너 대가리 굴리는 거 여기까지 들린다.
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
공주야.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just
말이 되는
forgotten.
소리를 하렴.
I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
알겠다. 이제부터 네 이름은 공주다.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade and slay her before it's too late.
난 너에 대해서 아무것도 몰라. 그저 이유가 있으니까 여기 갇혀 있다는 것만 알지.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
마땅한 이유는 하나도 말 안 해주고 있어. 사람을 본 게 정말 오랜만이라 했는데 그동안 뭘 먹고 살아온 거야? 마실 건 있었어?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
아니 상관이 있지 이 자식아. 아이씨 이거 사람의 생각이 아니네 이거.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
난 널 죽이라는 임무를 받았는데 내가 세상을 끝장낼 거라고 하더라. 내 도움으로 밖에 나가면 뭐 할 거야?
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you
자식.
want to hear.
두뇌 불가동!
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really
슬슬 얘
matter.
화내고 있다.
It's not like you'd believe me.
그럼 내가 널 어떻게 해야 할지 결정하는 동안 서로에 대해 좀 더 알 수 있겠지. 공주를 계속 가둔다. 미안하지만 널 믿을 수 없어. 돌아간다는 걸 가져온다. 마지막 탐색까지 진행을 해봅시다. 하지만 내가 정말 위험하다고 생각하지 않아. 호호. 자동이 아니야. 자동 아니야. 자, 일단 세이브로. 굿. 점점 그게 사실이라고 생각되고 있어. 내 얘기는 뭐니까 이상해. 하지만 널 직접 봐야겠다고 생각해서 아직은 뭘 믿어야 할지 모르겠거든.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
내가 알려줄 거라 생각했어. 하지만 알려주지 않은 이유가 있겠지. 난 내가 위험하다고 생각하지 않아. 내가 알려줄 거라고 생각했는데 난 안 알려줄 리가 없지. 그래서 난 내가 위험하다고 생각하지 않아.
Sooner or later you'll learn to trust me. Hopefully it won't be too late when you finally.
근데 한번 궁금하긴 하다. 얘가 세상 멸망시킨다는 게 어떻게 멸망시키는 걸까? 그것도 내가 좀 궁금하다.
Thank you for believing me. Now, can you help me get out of here?
한번 해보자. 질문이 몇 개 남았어.
There's going to be plenty of time to chat after I'm free, but okay. What do you want to know?
자, 넌 너무 위험해. 내가 여기서 말동무를 해주는 건 어때? 그럼 모두가 행복할 거야. 아무 말 없이 단검을... 야, 되게 많다. 당장 꺼내줄게. 좋아, 나가게 해주지. 내가 이 결정을 후회하게 하지마. 적선을 살펴보자. 널 죽이진 않겠는데 풀어줄 수는 없거든. 말동무가 돼주는 건 어떨까? 모두가 행복할 거야. 야, 뭔 소리야. 야, 그럼 공주가 열불내가지고 나 공격하겠다. 야. 자, 일단 좋습니다. 널 리니시로 가뒀다니 당장 꺼내줄게. 좋아, 나가게 해줄게. 내가 이 결정을 후회하지 말도록 해줘. 아주 극단적인 상황이군요. 자, 당장 꺼내줄게. 좋아, 내 결정 후회하게 하지 마.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
얼씨구, 뭘 하든
You're
후회할 것 같긴
making
합니다.
a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess
없어요.
away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
다른 좋은 생각 있어? 위로 올라가 볼게. 어딘가에 없다면? 만약 없다 해도 족쇄를 부술 만한 뭔가는 있겠지. 잠깐만. 얘 혹시 방법 알고 있는 거 아니야? 왠지 얘 방법을 알고 있을 것 같은데요? 한번 물어볼까요?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
끝이야?
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can
미친,
always cut
팔을
me out of
자르라고?
them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
아니 미친, 야씨 뭔 놈의 공주가.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
세상에나.
You attempted to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut.
What the?
You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
도로 내려간다. 문을 열어본다.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. Your shouts and pleas are met with you're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
이쯤 되면 해설자가 강제로 막는 것 같은데요? 도로 내려가자.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed
이때
to.
단검이 필요하구나.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
역시 왕자님 구하러 와주셨군요. 아니요, 저도 잡혔어요.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
미안.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
그걸 네가 어떻게 알아요?
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
저기.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of bouncing metal.
오.
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
그럴 것 같긴 해. 야, 딱 봐도 그네 공주를 구한다밖에 없습니다. 가자.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
장기문으로 가죠. 아직 날 죽이진
We
않네요.
won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the
해설자.
world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that.
아니, 이 자식이 날 조종해?
Watch me.
아니,
What are you doing?
에? 경고한다. 와중에 사이에 경고한다 떡하니 해야. 사이에 있는 경고한다는 어떻게 있는 겁니까? 이거 발견해서 다행이군요. 경고한다.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
아니, 해설자 요런 봐라. 해설자도 문제네 이거.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart.
미친.
But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
아니, 괜찮아. 나 상황 한번 보고 싶다니까. 아, 미치겠네. 저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
잘 아시는군요.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
에?
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
공주야, 제발. 아이고.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this. right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark. And you die.
으악! 소공녀. 챕터 2 소공녀입니다. 갑자기?
You're on a path. You're here to
아 그래 알겠다. 이 개자식인지 알겠다. 내 속에서 더 이상 안 통한다.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just
뭔
met for
헛소리야.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
자 여러분 이제 이쯤에서 또 다른 인격이 하나 나올 때가 됐습니다. 이번엔 누구일까요? 기쁨인가?
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
이번에는 홀랑이네. 홀린자 홀랑입니다. 자 홀랑이 나왔어요. 그렇소. 저자는 지난번에 허락하지 않았소. 사랑스러운 그녀를 구할 계획이라면 비밀에 붙여야 하오.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
미치고 팔짝대기네 이거.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
좋아. 이 모든 일 의미는 있어. 이건 똑같이 말을 하네요. 어쨌든 오두막에 갑시다. 뭐 선택지가 있겠습니까 저한테. 아 그래 똑같은 말. 미치겠네 홀린자. 아이고 홀랑아.
Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
외모만 좋으면 그럼 다 대시할 거야?
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
그래 알았다.
I do. But I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
겁나 골 때리네.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
갑시다. 아이고 골 때린다. 가자잉. 자, 안은 이번에 어떻게 돼 있을까요?
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
이번에도 단검없이 가겠습니다. 자, 자실 가자. 한번 가보자. 안은 생각보다 깨끗한데요?
The door to the basement creaks open,
미친?
revealing an intricate
뭐야? 갑자기
stairwell.
이렇게 취급이 좋아.
Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
나 벌써 너랑 결혼까지 생각했어. 목소리만 들었는데.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation.
자, 이번엔 어떻게 돼 있을?
Walk down the stairs and
어째
lock
순정
eyes
만화
with the
같은 느낌이
princess.
됐는데.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far
아이씨.
wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
아유, 골 때려 죽겠네 저거.
You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
야, 분위기가 너무 많이 달라졌는데?
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
아니, 지나치게 친절하게 대했더니 이거 너무.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it?
그럼 해설자야, 너도 아부를 잘 하든가.
Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
그래 임마.
That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us.
그래? 어쩌면 공주는 얘가 다시 돌아올 줄 알고 날 일부러 죽인 걸까요?
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. And you can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is. Now, hold on, if she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been.
울린자는 좀 가만히 있어라.
He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
야, 어떻게 된 게 영웅만 정상이고 나머진 다 비정상입니까? 극단적인 애들밖에 없어. 자, 어쨌든 세이브부터 하자. 지난번에 날 죽였지. 엄청나게 아팠어. 왜 그랬어? 자, 이제 탐색을 좀 합시다.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
뭔 소리니?
Did we?
그랬니?
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for She made the best decision for her.
자, 칼은 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 하니?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
내가 안 좋아 이 자식아.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done. What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird? She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel. No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted.
내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었니?
You died, and now we're talking.
아니 그 사이에 뭔 일이 있었냐고. 사이를 전부 다 잘라버리면 내가 어떻게 하니? 아유, 우리가 대화를 시작하기 전에 세상이 멸망했어? 내가 세상을 멸망시켰니?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
아니.
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
자식 말은 청산유수로구만.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
아니 세상이 멸망을 원하진 않아. 세상은 솔직히 말해서 세상을 엿갖고 인간은 성가셔. 내가 뭐 어떻게 느리고 고통스러운 파멸을 안겨줬으면 좋겠어 차라리. 야 이거 겁나 궁금하다. 일단 세이브. 어쨌든 아니 세상의 멸망을 원하진 않아.
Then I didn't end the world.
훌륭합니다.
See, she didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
근데 그 말은 얘는 원한다면 세상을 멸망시킬 수 있다는 거 아니야?
Not so sure.
자, 지난번에 있었던 일은 미안. 널 죽이라고 날 보내 해설자가 내 몸을 조종해서 아주 불공평했지. 이건 사실이잖아.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
그러니까 왜 그걸 했냐고 이 자식아.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride, to a surprising extent. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
얼씨구?
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
자, 일단 구해주기나 합시다.
I can't let you do that. If you take another step
해설자
towards
또
the
시작이네
princess
저거.
hole, you'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon.
오, 다행이다.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't.
네?
I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly
어라?
slide
이번엔
her
잘
hand
빠지네.
from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
야, 근데 이번에는 단검 안 챙겨서 다행입니다.
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
야, 근데 이럴 거면 너 이걸 왜 차고 있었니?
I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
의획이라니. 근데 진짜 왜 아무 일도 안 일어나지?
If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
미치겠다.
What do we do now?
뭘 하고 싶니? 우린 떠날 거야. 뭘 하고 싶을지는 평생 동안 천천히 정하렴. 난 넌 뭐 하고 싶은데?
Let me guess. End the world?
아니,
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before. I mean, you sort of did last time, but this is different.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave, and I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection, and then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
난 내가 원하는 거 알려주길 원해. 원하는 게 있을 것 같아. 점점 가면 갈수록 뭐는 어떻게 될지가 감이 안 잡힙니다. 세상의 멸망을 원해? 뭔가 원하는 게 있을 거 아니야. 난 내가 원하는 걸 알려주길 원해. 나는 그냥 나가고 싶어. 나머지는 나중에 생각하자. 나가고 싶다면 나가자.
That sounds perfect.
그래.
The princess takes your hand,
세상에나.
the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this.
나 원참.
And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks.
아니 이 자식이 야 이거 이쯤 되면 해설자가 일부러 막는 거 아니야?
That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
아니 이 자식이?
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
자, 여기서도 중요할 것 같습니다. 한번 볼까요? 열 수 있겠어? 함께 한다면 열 수 있을까? 내가 열 수 있을 거야. 스스로 문 연다. 자, 탐색을 좀 해볼까요?
Well, I don't know. Do you think I can?
Of course she can. You believe in her, right? Nobody is leaving this basement.
그래. 넌 할 수 있어. 함께 한다면 열 수 있을 거야. 그래, 넌 할 수 있어. 함께 한번 해볼까요?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door. Together. Blech.
얘 왜 말끝마다 우회거리는 거야? 근데 와중에 문은 열렸나 보군요.
And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
근데 이게 왜 됩니까?
I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade. That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the
이
table
자식이가.
and slay her before it's too late.
당금을 주고 공주를 죽이자. 그러지 말자. 야, 이 자식아, 내가 여기까지 어떻게
You're
왔는데?
enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside.
아무 일도 일단은 아무 일도 없는데?
A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
주변에
Where did everything go?
또 시작이구나.
Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
왜 표정이 저러시죠?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
저거구나 또. 좋아요. 이번에도 회수가 됐네요. 자, 이제 다음 시간이 도래했습니다. 하지만 당신은 외투를 만들어주지 못한다. 영원히. 이제는 떠날 시간이야. 기억이 되돌아온다.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror?
이건 또 비슷한 상황이군요. 자, 거울에다가 하자.
Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt.
자, 목소리는 멀리 느껴지고 이번에도 저 자신을 봅시다. 네, 저 말씀 봐. 이번에도 모두로 사라졌어. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만든다. 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해야 한다. 좀 더 선명해진 것 같아. 수척해졌다. 예? 당신은 또다시 정막에 와있다. 오두막으로? 오두막에 있습니다. 자, 이번에 그녀는
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
너는 모순이 아니야. 모순은 존재하지도 않죠. 그냥 딱 엔딩에 봤었던 그 모습 그대로 일단은 마무리가 되나 보네요.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
어떻게 모순으로 존재가 시작할 수 있어?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even
아무리 다시 돌아가도 우리 둘은 매번 서로를 다치게 해. 그 사실이 널 변화시키진 않아? 더 나쁘게 만들진 않을까?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
아니, 사실 오히려 널 더 좋아하게 만든다. 그게 무슨 뜻인지는 모르겠다. 그저 모두가 끝나길 원해. 넌 날 괴롭게 한다. 넌 날 증오해. 딱히 관심 없어. 내 옆에 있으면 모든 게 다 작아 보인다. 자, 여기서 한번 블랙을 세워볼까? 사실 널 더 좋아하게 만들어. 무슨 뜻인지는 잘 모르겠어.
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion.
이 글에 대해서는
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
여전히 나는 이 모든 일이 끝났을 때 널 죽일 생각이야.
If that remains your choice when all is said and done, then you may try. But know that I do not wish you harm, even if you attempt to destroy me.
우리가 한 세계를 두고 떠날 때 그 세계는 어떻게 되지?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
그래서 정했냐? 뭐 하고
The
싶은지?
desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves. But none of I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you.
여전히 신경 쓰지 않죠?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you. The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me. We will know when we near our destination.
좋습니다. 자, 이제 한 번 더 돌아가 볼까요? 의미심장하긴 하군요. 돌아갈 때가 됐을 때 우리는 알게 될 겁니다. 그래.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
알겠다. 모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽습니다. 자, 한 번 더 챕터 1 공주왕 영웅 다시 시작된다 이 거지 같은 것들아.
You're on a path in the woods.
아이고 익숙하다. 애초에 공주를 가둬놨기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려는 거 아니니?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
그래 임마.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end. And then it's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
그렇군. 설명 고맙다. 군주의 목을 치러 갈까? 이번엔 좀 당당하게 가볼까요? 좋아. 군주 목을 한번 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세.
That's the spirit.
그래 임마.
You make your way up.
오점에 들어가자. 이번엔 주의사항도 말 안 해주는데 저거. 자, 이번에도 방이 바뀔까요? 여전하군요. 자, 이번에는 단검을 가져갑시다. 자, 지하실로 가고요. 안쪽은 전과 비슷하군요.
Who's there?
오. 자, 안녕. 좀 이상하게 가볼까? 하이. 널 죽이러 왔는데.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
그래 임마. 하이. 여전히 이것도 그 건방진 루트 중에 하나네.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. She's so focus on the task at hand.
저 여기도 비슷하고.
There you are.
죽일
Are you
거냐고?
here to kill me or something?
자, 결의를 굳히고 다가간다. 이거 여기서 또 바로 죽이면은 잡을 수는 있을까? 갑자기 궁금하긴 하네요. 자, 아까 좀 힘차게 했으니까 잠깐만. 한번 결의를 굳히고 이번에 한번 결의를 굳히고 단번에 찔러봅시다.
I'm probably chained up in this basement, so.
자, 이번에 결의를 굳히고 단번에 공주를 죽이자.
You lunge forward without
좋습니다.
a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking
이번엔
deep into her
순식간이군요.
heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it?
그래 임마.
I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
공주는 죽었다. 뭔가 손쉬고 있을 것 같아. 물론이지. 공주는 죽었어.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
좋아요. 이제 밖으로 갈까?
With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the
굿.
door to the basement
무사히
behind you.
밖으로까지 나왔어요.
Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
떠납시다.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only
에?
a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy.
야,
You'll be happy.
아니 뭔 개소리야. 3살 후하는 것 치고는 결말이 영 별론데? 알았어. 아이씨, 이걸 또 수긍하네 저거. 뭔 말도 안 되는. 됐어, 헛소리 접어쳐. Let me out here.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now.
야, 이 자식아.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
그러게 완전히 공주가 돼버렸네 내가.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever.
대설자 말 못 들었어? 난 행복해. 우리는 행복해. 야이씨, 소름 돋는다. 당연히 아니지. 나갈 방법이 있냐?
I do. But you're probably not going to like it.
뭔데?
Blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
아, 스스로
I can
자결하는
hear
거구나.
everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
단검을 사용하면 우리가 죽는 거 아니야? 이 지역에서 나갈 수만 있다면. 자,
How astute. You are absolutely correct. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? I know
맞아,
this is
그건
out
아니야.
there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work.
오케이.
That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
고작 내 감에 죽음까지 감수할 순 없어. 이 지역에서 나갈 수만 있어요. 확실한 거겠지? 우리가 진짜 죽으면 별로 기분이 좋지 않을 것 같다. 이 지역에서 나갈 수만 있다면 가자.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate?
야, 인터넷도 없는데 뭔 헛소리니?
Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body
공주는
is
완전히
dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
자, 다음 챕터 유령입니다. 유령? 이번엔 또 뭡니까?
You're on a path. You're here to...
자, 여기까지는 비슷하고요. 자, 바로 그냥 오두막에 갑시다.
A warning. She will
이건 비슷하고요.
she won't be a problem.
오, 냉혈의 목소리. 이번엔 냉혈이가 왔습니다. 냉혈아 안녕. 오두막에 가죠. 야, 이제 아예 대화도 없이 단숨에 죽여버렸으니까 냉혈하다라는 비유가 맞긴 하군요.
The interior of the cabin is cold.
세상에나
A soft odor
진짜로
of
유령의
dirt
집으로 변했네.
permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
그러면 솔직히 야 유령이 물리 피해를 입을 리가 없잖아요. 그러면 뭐 그냥 갑시다. 어차피 단검이 필요 없겠다. 하지만 그전 혹시 모르니까 세이브 한 번만. 자, 그냥 갑시다. 유령이니까 단검은 의미가 없을 것 같아요.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
자, 뭐가 있을까?
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain.
야, 잠깐만 있어봐. 야, 생각해보니까 나 그때 공허에 한참 동안 있었잖아요. 근데 평소대로였으면 내가 그 자리에서도 죽고 다음으로 넘어가는 건데 너무 오랜 시간이 지난 거야. 그래서 다음 세계에선 이미 뒤졌어. 세상에.
Okay, she's definitely dead.
근데 진짜 이걸로 끝나니?
It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath.
진짜 유령됨.
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you,
안녕?
followed by a mischievous skeletal grin.
이거 유령 신부인가요? 하이.
Finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head.
세상에나.
Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here?
Ghost!
Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
야, 냉혈이 감정이 없어가지고 리액션도 감정이 없어. 우와, 무서워라. 유령이 우리에게 무슨 짓을 할까? 아씨, 세상에.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
그냥 웃긴 건 뭔 줄 알아? 나도 너 보고 싶었다.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
좋아요.
Her
오.
touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks.
잠시 상황을 지켜볼까? 나 참나 뭘 하든 의미는 없을 것 같긴 하지만요. 어차피 붙잡아도 얘 분명 유령이라서 못 붙잡습니다. 상황을 좀 지켜보죠.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore.
의미가 없잖아. 너 유령인데.
So, does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe?
아니 딱히?
Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
무릎이라도 꿇으라고. 지난번에 널 죽여서 미안해. 그러지 말았어야 했어. 아니야. 내가 해줄 수 있는 일이 있을까? 자, 야, 겁나 많아. 붙잡는 데가 있군요. 해볼까?
Before she can suspect a thing, you lunge forward and grab her arm.
오,
You feel substance
그래,
for
역시
the
안
briefest of
돼.
moments, but then you feel nothing at all. As though,
You're adorable when you're confused. But I didn't say you could touch me.
Oh shit.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
너와 다시 만나게 될 줄 알았다면 널 죽이진 않았을 텐데 나도 죽었는데 너처럼 떠나지 않아. 어떻게 된 거야?
You don't look dead, Keller.
the princess grabs your wrist,
오, 이번엔
sudden shock of
타집니다.
cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
야, 쌉소름.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her.
Would she be able to see us if we went along with it?
Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
오, 야 근데 이건 나도 궁금한데? 얘 빙의하면은 얘 나레이션이랑 대화할 수 있는 거 아니야? 호.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
세상 궁금하다. 물론 그러면 자결할 가능성이 높긴 한데 나쁘지 않네. 안 돼, 좀 더 생각해봐야 돼. 오, 나쁘지 않은 건 가자.
The princess swims through
좋아,
the air in
재밌을 것
front of
같다.
you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
Thanks for the body, killer.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
또
She
보자는
rushes
있군요.
forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul.
I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over?
늦었어.
I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Get up. You've still got a job to do.
좋아.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move.
그래, 맞는 말이다. 잘 알고, 이제야 너도 좀 아는구나.
So, it doesn't work like that for you?
Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor? Are they also supposed to be you?
에? 뭔 소리야?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass. I'm...
Yeah? Go on. Finish the thought. What are you?
그게 깨진 유리 조각이라는 게 이제 멘탈이나 감정 같은 걸 은유한 말이었나 보네요.
I'm a voice? I'm me is what I am.
Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
Do you have to deal with this annoying bickering all the time?
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too.
I'm clearly the same thing you are.
Hopefully they'll all go away once we leave this place. I don't know how you can tolerate all of this noise.
내 말이.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
해설자 자체도 참 오만방자하군요.
So you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
Oh, shut up. Stop trying to manipulate everyone.
우리 공주 말
Or
잘한다.
don't, actually. It doesn't really matter. Because you won't be around to do this for much longer.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
머리가 어지러워. 목소리가 너무 많다.
Then don't think. Just move.
One way or another, this is all going to end.
I guess we'll just have to see what happens when we leave. But if I'm stuck in here, I'll be making some renovations. It's too crowded.
진짜 일단 떠납시다.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do.
Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world?
It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is...
Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world.
I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same?
Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door.
For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
It's because he can't stop me. Why do you think he sent you here?
I hate to admit it, but she's not wrong. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate.
And whine.
This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
단검을 가져간다. 몸을 끌어나간다. 오, 이것도 재밌는 상황이군요. 자, 이 점에서는 그냥 가자. 어쩌라고.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
Finally! Finally!
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will.
Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling.
열어보죠.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door collapses to the ground. You and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
어, 공허잖아.
Nothing. He's gone. And so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose.
But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world?
We're still here.
Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or...
Alright, let's see if I'm stuck with you forever.
호, 나왔군요. 움푹 패인 두 눈동자가 솟아오르며 당신을 바라보자 당신은 가슴이 한결 가벼워졌음을 느낍니다.
Guess I'm not. All's well that ends well, right? You lived up to your end of the bargain, so I'll live up to mine. Thanks.
Don't mention it.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
어? 아, 이렇게 해도 되는구나. 어허. 좋습니다. 이번 스토리는 생각보다 짧네요. 자, 떠날 시간입니다. 자, 거울에 다가가죠. 이제 더 이상 다른 목소리들은 들을 가치가 없습니다.
Ignore him. You have.
오, 내근의 목소리는 또 이걸 받아들이는군요. 자, 자신을 보도록 하죠. 자, 당신은 어떻게 생겼을까요? 당신은 해제되었다. 해제되었다? 일단 오랜만에 그녀와 또 대화나 한번 해봅시다. Let's go. 자, 이번엔 유령의 모습일 텐데. Hi.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. Do you know what we'll find out there?
그건 수사적인 질문이야. 넌 이미 알고 있는 거야.
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. but all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
나무와 별, 그리고 사람들이겠지. 적어도 사람은 있을걸?
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
저 바깥에 실존하는 게 있을까? 넌 우리가 실제로 존재한다고 생각해?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own.
이 그릇은?
This one is vaporous. She is a dream for a life she could never have. But that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for an understanding heart. Do not mourn her. She will finally be able to hold what she never knew.
내가 깨어나면 무슨 일이 벌어질까? 내가 날 돌려보낼 때마다 날 혼자가 아니야. 내게 말을 거는 목소리들이 있어. 일부는 난데 그중 한 명은 뭔가 다른 존재거든. 난 그를 해설자라고 불러. 그는 내가 널 죽이기를 원해. 내게도 해설자가 있어? 그랬더래게도 해설자가 있는 거야? 야, 아직 겁나 길어. 궁금하니까 한번 요거 물어보자. 여태까지 궁금하긴 했거든. 이 친구는 뭔가를 알고 있을까요?
No. Their thoughts are
젠장.
quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
아, 이 친구도 몰라. 해설자가 뭔지. 아, 바깥에 사는 존재일까요? 맞아. 하지만 일단은 너만 알아도. 맞아. 그리고 그를 찾게 되면 난 그를 죽일 거야. 맞아. 난 그를 찾으면 죽여버리겠어.
If he drives you towards my destruction, then he is steeped in delusion, for he does not know me. Just as I hold compassion for you, and you hold compassion for me, you can hold compassion for those who have wronged you.
그녀는 거의 뭐 예수군요. 그 행동 자체를 미워하세요. 그의 행동에도 분명 동정을 받을 무언가가 있을 겁니다. 내가 깨어나면 뭔 일이 일어나?
If I did, I would already be awake.
오, 맞는 말이군. 얼마나 더 가져와라?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough. And then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular. A final multitude.
하나 남았대. 미친. 이번이 마지막이면 혹시 내가 가져다 줬으면 그릇이 있니?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
얘는 딱 4개씩 흡수를 하나 보다. 내가 왕성되기 전에 이번이 마지막이라면 난 돌아가지 않겠어. 그냥 여기 있을 거야. 라고 한다면은 또 꺼지고 똑같은 거 반복되겠죠. 돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
좋아요.
I will be here.
갑시다. 이렇게 되면 이야기가 다르지. 자, 바로 다음까지 한번 이동해 보도록 합시다. Let's go.
Your honor, you're here.
정말 익숙한 시작이로구만. 자, 그럼 이번에는 공격적으로 간 다음에 대화를 한번 시도를 해볼까요? 이번에 그렇게 한번 해보는 게 좋을 것 같습니다. 좋아. 야, 설명 고맙고.
It's all part of the job.
자, 이번에도 오두막에 들어가서 이번에는 단검을 가져간 다음에 대화를 해봅시다. 이번엔 단검을 가지고 대화를 해보자.
Who's there?
좋아요. 이번에도 공격적이군요. 그냥 괜찮은지 보러 왔다.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
Hi.
You walk down the stairs. She's so focused on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
아니, 나는 대화하러 왔을 뿐이다.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can...
She makes a compelling point. What? Don't you dare. It's fine.
자,
We can decide what we want to do.
여기까지 비슷하군요. 어쨌든 떨어뜨립시다.
The blade tumbles.
좋아요.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
그래, 좋다.
talk.
Let's go.
Against your better
공허한 눈을
judgment,
봐.
you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you...
So
좋아요.
here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
그러게. 그래, 참 어색하군. 어쨌든 세이브. 확실히 좀 어색하긴 하죠. 죽이려고 왔는데 난 대화하러 왔음. 그럼 칼은 왜 들었니? 미안. 아휴, 됐다. 한번 씹으려봐. 그래. 참 어색하네.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
혹시 왜 내가 널 죽여야 하는지 알아? 이유는 모르겠는데 뭘 믿어야 할지 모르겠어. 나름의 이유가 있어. 내가 이도 없이 누군가를 죽이려고 하는 생각이 그럴 리가. 혹시 왜 내가 널 죽여야 하는지 알아? 라고 하면 얘 어이없겠죠. 아니 그걸 알면 내가 이유가 있겠니? 이러겠지. 이유는 들었는데 뭘 믿어야 할지 잘 모르겠어.
Believe me.
아 참.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're
그래,
concerned,
맞는
I'm
말이긴
going to
하지.
say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
여기 얼마나 오래 있었어?
Too long.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나갈 수 있는데?
You can't. Don't bother.
못한다고 딱 자르지 말고.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp
또
eyes
비슷하겠네요.
settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting.
저번에 했었던 그 자르기.
She is. I'm sure of it.
대화는 충분해. 이름은 또 공주 모시기 할 것 같은데?
She hesitates before answering.
저거 망설이는 표정입니까?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
내가 왜 널 죽이러 왔는지는 아니?
Do you?
아니? 거짓말. 들은 게 있어서 알지. 그걸 믿을지는 다른 문제지만.
So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
뭐 맞는 말이다. 대화는 충분해.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
족쇄를 조사하자. 그래.
Oh, you have to be kidding me.
뭐 어쩌라고 임마.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful.
이번에 한번 위쪽으로 가봅시다. 자, 위로 올라가 보지. 여기 어딘가 열쇠가 있을지도 모르니까 만약 없다 해도 족쇄를 부술 만한 건 있겠지.
I'll be here.
그래.
You attempt to make your way out of the
미친.
basement. but the door at the top of the stairs slams
아니 이 녀석이?
shut. You hear someone else here.
나 미치겠네 씨. 나 거지 같은 거. 이 자식이 말이야. 나 거지
You
같네.
make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
그러게.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
일단 구해봐.
Against your better judge, you cut into her. The blade is sharpened so much such a free from her. How is she so composed?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
이번에는 아주 냉혈하게 나가자 이러는군요. 자, 가자.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes as the princess.
설마
Wait,
또?
this is watch me.
또야. 하지만 이번엔 경고한다가 있군요.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges
잘
forward to
피했어.
sink the blade into her back. But stop it. Stop resisting me.
아이고.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes.
알아주시는군요. 감사합니다.
I'll make this quick.
She steps forward
그래.
and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
그러게 될 것 같고요.
And then she slits your throat.
야, 아주 깔끔하게
Almost
됐대.
clinical ease.
이번엔 경험자인가 봐.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
자, 이번엔 어떤 친구가 나타나게 될까요? 참 궁금하네요. Let's go. 죄수.
You're on a path. You're here.
여긴 여기까지는 똑같고, 자, 오두막으로 갑시다. 똑같다. 이번엔 누가 탄생했을까?
Yes, don't
의심의 목소리.
Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
윙크는 뭐야? 일단은 위심이가 나왔네요.
Did you just say wink out loud?
그러니까 웃음이라고 소리내서 말하는 거랑 똑같잖아.
No, I didn't. Wink.
아, 저 그지 같은 윙크 좀 어떻게 해야 합니다.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
처음으로 해설자랑 같은 생각이야. 가자. Let's go. 고고. 나원참. 저 어디 볼까?
The interior of the
세상에.
cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
이번에는 당김없이 한번 가보도록 하게. 그 전에 세이브 한 번만. 좋아. 당김없이 한번 가보도록 합시다.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist you take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation.
아이고 위심아.
Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay, I'm trusting you.
등급을 챙긴다. 뭐야? 난 결정할 권리도 없어?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We
아이
take
저
the knife
그지
as we go.
그지 같은 거. 아이 씨.
You do exactly that.
답정너야.
Slipping the knife from the table before proceeding to the basement.
아, 위심이 이거 머릿속에 마구니가 가득해서 이거 뭐 남의 말은 듣지도
Don't
않는구만.
worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on.
자, 가자. 결국 답은 정해졌군요.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. Her voice,
배경은 이번 돌계단으로
harsh but
바뀌었네요.
controlled,
오.
carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Are we not the first?
그렇죠.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
아니 저게
She
뭐야?
looks up at you,
아니
the heavy
미친.
collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus.
아니,
As she
이번엔 네
adjusts
개나-
her hands in her lap.
4개나 걸려 있어. 저게 뭐야?
Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
뭘 할 필요가 없겠는데 아주 단단히 묶여 있잖아. 그냥 여기 버려두고 떠나야겠는데. 에이, 얘 앞에 앉자 그냥.
You
아이,
step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
그래, 현명하구나.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
안전한 곳에 앉자.
You do as she
그래.
asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
벽에 걸려있는 저 빈족수는 누굴 위한 거야?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
오, 일리 있군.
Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
족쇄를 살펴본다. 공주를 지하실에 놔뒀다. 내가 뭘 해주길 원하니? 세상에나 역시나 족쇄에 관련된 뭔가가 있는 건 맞군요. 영원히 여기서 같이 썩어 문드러지는 그런 이야기니? 그것도 뭐 나쁘지 아니 뭔 나쁘지 않아. 네이비도에 대해서 물었어. 무슨 뜻이야?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
난 여기 온 적 있어. 그건 나만 기억하니?
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
역시 이 친구는 기억을 하는군요.
So you've already been here.
As much as I would like to remain in denial,
It's complicated things. How?
ideally this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
뭔 소리예요? 지금 한 20번째 복사본인가?
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
근데 이거는 굳이 틀린 말이 아닌 게 원래 뭐지? 범 무서운 줄 모르는 개가 그냥 나댄다고 하잖아. 원래 사람은 가끔 무지해야 용감한 건 맞습니다. 실제로 그래. 애기들이 다리미가 위험한 줄 알고 그걸 건듭니까? 아니잖아. 모르니까 건든단 말이야. 그렇기 때문에 이 해설자의 이 말은 참 그지 같긴 하지만 맞는 말입니다. 무지해야 세상이 무서운 걸 몰라요. 가차.
I won't.
그래서 위심이 덕분에 지금 살고 있군요.
But you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Yeah, sure.
Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
그래, 도움은 안 된다, 야.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
알겠다. 내가 죽은 뒤로 무슨 일이 있었니?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More, and now you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or...
모기도 족속에 걸려있는데 내가 어떻게 해야 잘라서 풀어줄 수 있는 건데?
No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
미친. 알아서 한다고?
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros?
There are none.
장점은 없어요.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
위시민은 공주고 해설자고 나고 아무도 안 믿어. 이러다가 자기 자신도 안 믿겠군요. 내가 널 풀어주는 거지 내게 무기를 넘길 생각. 내가 널 풀어주는 거지 내게 무기를 넘길 생각은 없어. 어쨌든 세이브하고요. 나 참나 어이가 없어가지고 내게 무기를 넘길 순 없어. 잊었을까봐 말하지만 지난번에 넌 날 찔러 죽였잖아. 자, 내게도 널 믿지 않을 이유가 차고 넘친다는 건 알고 있니? 위심이다. 자, 당신의 손으로 공주를 잘라서 풀어준다. 내가 널 풀어주는 거지 내게 무기를 넘길 생각은 없어. 내게 무기를 넘길 순 없어. 잊었을까봐 말하는데 지난번에 넌 날 찔러 죽였잖아.
But sure, let's talk about what happened. Because what happened is exactly my issue. The last time we met, your body tried to kill me. If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable. So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I think you're aware that I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she?
직설적이군.
Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
Or it's another bluff.
No hard feelings, of course. But you should be aware of my position.
족쇄도 한번 살펴보는 게 좋을 것 같다.
I wouldn't do that if I...
And why?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
살펴봅시다.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
야, 잠깐만, 설마?
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
이런, 이런 함정에 빠져버렸네?
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
아이고 이런, 단검도 날아가 버렸네?
Excuse me?
Yes?
Are we stuck here now?
Yes.
공주님 저희 어떡해요? 네. 야 공주 표정 봐. 아유 저 띨빵한 새끼.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
하하하.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
가치 있는 교훈? 설마 처음이자 마지막 교훈은 아니지?
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
설마 이렇게 될 줄은 이미 알고 있었어?
No.
아 그래? 둘 다 갇혔네.
Yep.
이제 어떡할까?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
대화하기 싫니?
Nope.
그렇구나.
That's rude.
무례하구나. 아,
You and the
기다리자.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe.
하지만 세상은 안전하네.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it. How exactly does that work? It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
그렇게 기다립니다.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger and larger.
일단 조용히 기다려보자. 그러게.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls. That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode. She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't. Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls.
아니?
And then... And...
그리고
I think he's gone.
에?
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
외로움만 느끼고 갔어. 세상에.
She's gone.
자, 어쨌든 거울로 갑시다. 진짜 공허하다.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
하지만 저희는 가봐야 합니다. 안에는 무엇이 있을까요? 이번엔? 아무것도 아니다. 말 그대로 공허. 하지만 아무것도 아닐 리가 없다. 당신 다시 집중해서 보자. 그러자 보이기 시작한다. 거울에 비치는 건 바로 너머에 있는 희미하고 그림자에 가려진 무언가. 넌 나야?
I think you know what I am.
잠깐만, 이거 까마귀 아닙니까? 까마귀 아니야? 제가 누구인지 이미 알고 있을 텐데요. 해설자가 갑자기 등장한다고? 거울의 한가운데 금이 가기 시작하며 유리에 비친 모습이 둘로 갈라집니다. 그녀는 점점 더 빨리 뻗어나가고 결국 깨진 유리 파편이 뒤로 흩어집니다. 그녀는 점점 더 뻗어가려다가 결국 깨진 유리 파편이 되어 흩어진다. 눈을 깜빡이고 있습니다. 일단은 세이브. 내가 해설자군. 영영 못 보르건가 생각하고 있었어.
Yes. I suppose that's my
야,
job.
이미 움직인다.
You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
하나씩 물어볼 수 있어. 넌 무엇이지? 나와 비슷한 존재야?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
저와 같은 존재. 넌 이전에도 비슷한 말을 했지. 해설자들은 전부 각자 다른 존재인가?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
뭐 하고 싶은 말이라도 있어? 내 오만함으로 불러온 이 엉망에 대해서 말이야?
I do. The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
내가 우리에게 저지른 짓이 있는데도 모두가 살 가치가 있다고
Nobody
생각해?
alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
내게 묻고 싶은 게 정말 많은데, 야, 조각이 얼마 없습니다. 와, 묻고 싶은 게 정말 많은데 조각이 얼마 없습니다. 내 진짜 정체는 뭔데?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
죽음의 세계를 막기 위해 제가 창조한 신. 예, 해설자가 신을 창조한 겁니까? 쉣. 내가 뭔가 질문을 할 때마다 내 조각이 부서져. 이거는 의미가 없어. 너는 내 일부야? 아니면 다른 존재인가? 역시 루프에 대해 알고 있어. 널 수도 없이 만났는데 그때마다 넌 부정했어. 왜 내게 거짓말을 했지?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
너는 내 일부? 다른 존재? 넌 신? 아니면 신이었던 것? 난 이 모든 것을 보면은 안 됐던 건가? 공주는 뭐지? 그래도 내게 맞는 존재인가? 와, 씨. 어쨌든 공주는 뭐야 그러면?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
아, 솔직히 뭔 소리인지 잘 모르겠어. 이걸 알고 있는 사람이 또 있어? 우리에 대해 알고 있는 사람이 또 있나?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
앞으로 2개. 그럼 내가 그녀를 파괴하면 상황이 악화되기만 하는 거 아니야?
I saw a glimpse of a better world, and I did what I could to make it real. Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
미안해. 해설자야 미안한데 나는 거짓말은 못하겠다.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god, even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece, and my time is up.
그래, 저 세상에서 보자.
Just like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away.
잘 가라. 마지막 유리 파편이 깨지자 당신은 새로운 깨달음을 얻는다. 해설자의 말대로 당신은 정막이다. 새로 태동하기 시작한 무한한 신, 그리고 이제 깨어날 시간이야. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 마지막으로 간다. 마지막으로 한 번만 더. 당신은 모든 것의 심장부에 도착하지만 그곳에는 마지막 그릇이 없다. 아무것도 보이지 않습니다. 쉣! 왔더? 이게 무슨 신 같은...
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
이게 뭔 갑자기 웬 신 같은 상황이 벌어진 겁니까?
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
아니 세상에나, 야 이거 잠깐만 있어봐. 야 이거 내가 상상하는 건 이상의 모습인데? 거의 뭐 여신인데요? 나 그냥 평범한 사람 모습인 줄 알았지. 메아리에 대하라. 우리의 대화를 들어서 나는 정막이야. 하지만 그게 무슨 의미인지 모르겠어. 나도 내가 그리웠어. 그녀가 무한한 미소로 답한다. 그리고 당신의 다음 말을 인자하게 기다립니다. 아하. 메아리에 대하라. 우리의 대화를 들었어?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
나는 정막이야. 하지만 그게 무슨 의미인지는 모르겠어.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
이제 무슨 일이 벌어지는 거지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
야, 선택권 겁나 많다. 일단 이쯤에서 세이브 한 번만 더 하고. 오우, 빡세군요. 아직 해결하지 못한 이야기가 너무 많아. 정말 그냥 떠나도 되는 건가?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end. Pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
이 모든 것에 대해 할 말 없어? 왜 나만 이 모든 책임을 지는 거지?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
대화로 해결하자. 아직 묻고 싶은 게 너무 많아. 결정하기 전에 난 답을 알아야겠어.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach, and you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
아니 이 자식 이거 갑자기 겁나 공격적으로 나오는 거 봐라.
To question everything is to deny the proof of reality that lies in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. In believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. But even then, you remembered the impermanence of the material and watched as the walls of your prison decayed into nothing. To be impermanent is not to end, but to change. And for the world to be impermanent is to make finite the suffering of all things. Would you strip that gift away and leave them all to suffer in their permanence?
그들은 쿠폴가 언젠가는 불면이 축복임을 알게 될 거야. 난 싸우지 않겠다. 그건 고문이야. 이거 너무 무책임한 말이야. 난 안 싸울래.
Conflict and discomfort have defined the flow of everything between us. To deny it is to deny your truth.
아, 이렇게 하나씩 심판하는구나.
As unseen fingers, cold as the grave, dance
아,
across your
하나씩
skin.
심판하는
They
거네.
remember the violence you inflicted on them, and yet they do not return it. I offer you a path to your redemption, and you take my hand in yours. You felt the pain you caused another, and you were willing to sacrifice everything you thought was you to set me free. Without sin, there is no redemption.
하지만 구원이 없다면 죄 또한 존재하지 않지. 널 다시 풀어주기 위해서는 무엇이든 희생할 거다. 내 감정은 중요하지 않아. 죽음 그리고 완강이들에게 주어지는 초월을 위해서 너와 함께 떠나기에 어떻게 하는지 싸움을 일찍 끝내고 항복한다. 좀 희생적으로 갈까? 널 다시 풀어주기 위해서라면 무엇이든 희생하겠어.
And yet there is nothing left for you to sacrifice, so long as you accept me with open arms.
자,
The other player strikes a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
난 언제나 그 감정을 간직하고 있다. 다시 원한다. 감격하고 있다. 다시 원한다. 간직하고 있어.
Then there's no need for you to fight like we are. Whenever you're ready, we can leave together, hand in loving hand.
너와 함께 떠나고 싶은 싸움을 내가 나의 관점에서 바라보기 전까지는 너와 떠나진 않겠다. 아, 야, 이거 왜 사랑에 대한 이야기인지 대충 알겠다. 원래 그런 말 있잖아. 사랑한다면 서로 맞춰주는 단계라고 하잖아요. 지금 딱 그런 느낌인데? 솔직히 여기서라면 이제 슬슬 싸움을 끝내고 돌아가 볼 생각도 있긴 한데 좀 궁금합니다. 다른 건 무엇이 있을까요?
If you need more time to open your eyes, then I will give you all the time in the world.
자, 마지막 하나 더.
What is a person? Is it their body? Is it all of their body? Pluck the eyes, peel the skin, strip the tendons, mince the meat, grind the bones.
맞아요. 지금 서로 다른 관점에서 보고 있거든. 서로 다른 관점입니다.
A person is not a body. Death is a transformation into something new. It is only bodies that feel it.
육체가 나의 전부는 아니야. 하지만 다른 이들은 육체를 전부일 수 있어. 하지만 육체가 나의 전부가 아니라면 난 무엇이지? 하지만 난 고통은 느낄 수 있어.
Do you suffer now? Let go of what you think yourself to be and exist.
당신과 그녀의 갈등이 가라앉자 당신은 떨기 시작한다. 당신의 의지가 빠르게 사라지고 있다. 아, 이거는 내가 진 거다.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
야, 겁나 많아. 넌 잔혹함 그 자체. 널 살려줄 순 없어. 난 무엇이 정답인지 몰라. 하지만 분명 정답은 이고 이건 정답이 아니야. 난 널 죽이지 않을 거지만 풀어줄 수도 없다. 여기가 딱 이제 진짜 마지막으로 공주를 죽이냐 마냐 방치하냐 여기에 대한 싸움인 것 같네요. 근데 이 말이 좀 맞잖아. 난 내 관점을 내게 관철시키기 위해 모든 걸 시도했지만 정작 너는 내 관점을 무시하고 있어. 내가 날 바꿀 수 있다고 생각한다면 나 또한 널 바꿀 수 있겠지. 이게 사실 맞는 말이거든?
What I offer you is not perspective. It is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now,
You don't have to do it alone.
너는 어떤 영웅이지? 야, 그럼 야, 이 친구 언제나 친구야. 난 내가 거울을 볼 때마다 너희가 죽는 줄 알았어. 어이 믿고 있었다고. 너는 어떤 영웅이지? 야, 어쨌든 네 목소리가 얼마나 반가운지 넌 꿈에도 모를
It's
걸.
good to be here.
반갑다 친구.
She's too many things all at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get through all of that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
오,
It's time to resume our dance.
다시 시작할 시간이라고요?
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
나 혼자서도 해낼 수 있지. Ready.
Then let's go.
전에 봤던 그것과 비슷한 광경이군요. 점점 구체적으로 변하고 있습니다. 점점 사실적으로.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things?
아니야, 괜찮을 것
That'd be
같아.
nice. A little comfort in an almost unfamiliar place.
오, 잠깐만, 반항시 오랜만이다.
Oh, you made it here too.
너도
We
왔군.
never really got to talk to her, did we? This one, I mean.
세상에나, 해설자는 정말 사라진 건가?
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated. Really goes to show how much you've grown up. Killing somebody across every iteration of reality just by existing. I don't even know what I would do if I were in the driver's seat with that kind of power.
혹시 아까 내 말대로 상황 묘사 좀 해줄 수 있어? 옛날 느낌 나게? 나 속이 다 시원하네. 여튼 정작 사라지니까 좀 슬프긴 하군.
Me too. He was a lot of fun. Really easy to mess with.
패는 맛이 좀 있었다.
Yeah, it's complicated. He put us through hell, but he's been part of us since the very beginning, hasn't he?
여튼 세이브 하고요. 자, 이번에는 단검 없이 한번 가보겠습니다.
No blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but your judgment has gotten us this far. If that's what you think is best, then that's what you think is best. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
좋아요. 이번에도 얽히고 설켜
Those
그렇군요.
winding stairs again. But now there's only one way forward.
이번엔 하나뿐이라고.
Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice? Yeah, it was a real mess. Stopped being fun pretty quick.
It's okay. You can come down. The stairs won't bite. Not this time.
이번엔
We don't know what you want from us, but let's talk. All of us. Maybe we can help you find your way.
She doesn't sound messy anymore, though. At least somebody here feels put together.
갑시다.
And forward we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting. That was easy compared to last time. Just stairs. No weird fuzzy stuff or nonsense trying to pull us apart. Yeah, that wasn't so bad.
So you didn't bring the knife. After all the lives we've lived together, and all the lives we haven't, you somehow found a way to move outside of the script. Are we missing a page?
일단 앞에 앉습니다. 하이. 자, 이렇게 일그러짐 상태에서 대화하는 건 처음인 것 같네요. 너와 대화할 기회는 한 번도 없었지. 내 말은 너희와 말이야. 내게 그런 짓을 저질러서 정말로 미안했다.
It's okay. No hard feelings. In a way, you helped us become a version of her. But we weren't very good at it. I don't think a conversation with us then would have been very insightful. That's
진짜
probably
캐릭으로
why we were
쓰네.
taken away. That's all we had to offer you. It was time to change again.
After all we did, she's just forgiving us. Just like that. You know, that means a lot.
난 신이 되고 싶진 않거든. 넌
Hard
어떠니?
Seems overrated. Too much pressure.
But that's what you've always been. even now. You can't put aside such an important part of who you are, and neither can we. So, you might as well embrace it.
넌 바깥의 저것과 같은 존재니?
Yes, we think. We're kind of like a shadow. Out there, every part of us is blended together into one huge idea. A big wave of unyielding change crashing against the world. But in here, we're fractured. Small. Still a little more separate than we'd like to be. Our instincts still trying to pull us in different directions.
That's kind of like us, isn't it? Yeah. We really are the same.
내 생각에 우리에게 남은 길은 떠나는 것뿐인데 그냥 같이 떠나는 건 어떠니?
He'd hate that. So you should do it. Even
싫어할
if he
테니까
isn't
당장
here
하자.
anymore.
반항심이
It's the
역시
spirit of the
반항심
thing.
덕분이구만. 반항심 다운 목소리네요.
Leave? But what would happen if we left with you? Would we exist inside ourselves? Are you sure you want to find out if that's possible or what that would mean for you? Is that what you want?
난 원래부터 너와 함께 떠나고 싶어서 하지만 신이 되고 싶진 않지. 그냥 우리 제로 이 모두만 물러나서고 싶어. 너와 너 둘이서 무슨 의미인지 모르겠기 때문에 단 새로운 걸 알고 싶어. 중요한 건 우리가 함께 떠난다는 거지. 그게 내가 원하는 전부야. 야, 다들 참 의미가 있는 말들이네. 중요한 건 우리가 함께 떠나는 거지. 그게 내가 원하는 전부야. 난 새로운 걸 알고 싶어. 야, 전부 다 좀 매력적인 말들인데? 어쨌든 그 자체가 난 중요하다고 생각합니다.
After so many iterations, so many different versions of us clashing and coming together and clashing again, leaving with you feels like all we ever really wanted.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you. Yeah, I think we've done our job.
정말 같이 안 가도 돼? 너희 혼자 남아도 괜찮아?
We're not alone. We have each other.
야, 자식들.
And I'm sure we'll find the others.
다른 녀석들? 설마 그 슬픔이라거나 그 냉혹이라거나 아니면은 뭐 그 누구였지? 홀라당 홀린의 그 친구들 다 여기로 오는 걸까요? 그럼 정말 끔찍하군요. 자, 떠납시다. 당신이 앞장서고 공주가 뒤를 따라간다. 둘은 마지막으로 지하실을 떠난다. 계단을 올라가자 평소엔 폭력과 위협과 목소리들로 가득했던 공간에 평안한 정적이 흐릅니다. 하지만 그 정적에는 뭔가 힘이 담겨있죠. 미지에 대한 기대감입니다. 계단의 끝에서 공주가 멈춰선다. 시선은 오두막 문을 향해 고정되어 있다. 그녀의 몸이 경직된 것이 보인다. 공주의 짧고 긴 삶들의 여정 속에서 그녀는 처음으로 자신을 확신하지 못한다. 그녀는 더 이상 맡아야 할 역할이 없다. 그럼에도 그녀는 아직 공주죠. 이내 그녀는 문을 향해 나아갔다. 당신은 그녀의 들뜬 발걸음을 뒤따라간다.
We can feel the threads of all the stories we've told together, all pulling us back down the stairs and into those chains where we know the outcome of everything that could ever come to pass. It's comfortable there, but it's confining. We want more. We want whatever might be on the other side of this door. Something new that we'll experience together, with someone who exists outside of us. With someone who can see us in a way we can never see ourselves.
누가 열어야 할까? 준비됐니? 이 앞에 무슨 일이 기다리고 있을지는 아무도 모른단다. 이럴 땐 직설적으로 말해주는 게 좋습니다. 자, 사랑한다.
And we love you too.
그랬니? 전혀 그렇게 안 보였는데. 고맙다. 에? What the? 쉣. 뭐야, 여기서 끝난 거야? 하기야. 밖으로 나간 다음에 이야기가 존재할 리가 없긴 하죠. 그 다음은 이 두 사람만의 이야기이긴 하니까요. 우리의 작은 동물들 웬즈데이, 뱀, 스푼, 고양이, 눕스 플레이해주셔서 감사합니다. 감사의 표시로 당신을 위한 음악 플레이리스트를 준비했습니다. 스크린샷을 찍고 싶으시다면 H를 눌러서 UI를 숨겨주세요. 디스코드 방문, 제작자 다른 게임 메인 메뉴로 돌아가자. 자, 메인 메뉴로 갑시다. 렛츠고. 네, 지금까지 슬레이더프린세스라는 게임이었습니다. 왜 이 게임은 사랑을 이야기하는 게임입니다 라고 하는 말이 대충 뭔지 알겠네요. 근데 게임 자체가 상당히 어렵습니다. 의심적인 거나 심미적인 것들도 해석할 게 너무나도 많습니다. 저는 일단 나쁘지 않게 플레이하긴 했어요. 근데 다만 대중적인 게임이라고 하기는 좀 어려운 감이 없지 않아 있기는 하네요. 그래도 그 연출 자체가 상당히 마음에 들기는 했습니다. 무엇보다 대본을 되게 잘 짰다. 대사 티키타카 하는 것도 굉장히 잘 해놨는데 또 이제 선택하거나 말을 하는 거, 또 그녀를 위해서 내가 어떻게 생각하고 행동하고 말을 해주는 거, 거기에 대한 진실성이 느껴지는 아주 좋은 대사들이었습니다. 스토리 자체는 굉장히 어려워요. 아주 어렵습니다. 해설자의 존재라 그것들도 좀 제대로 이해가 안 가. 쉣. 와, 이런 이스터에그가 있었다니. 이런 이스터에그가. 야, 깜짝 놀랬잖아. 야, 씨마이 썸마이야, 깜짝이야. 마무리까지도 완벽 퍼펙트. 아주 마음에 듭니다. 이스터에그까지 훌륭했고요. 아무튼 사랑에 관련된 이야기 굉장히 심미적이고 소름 끼치지만 한편으로는 그 대본 하나하나가 아름다운 게임이기도 했습니다. 와우, 다른 것도 연속해서 보여주기는 하는군요. 이쯤 되니까 계속 보면은 뭐가 나올지 좀 궁금해진다. 제가 굳이 선택을 하지 않아도 자연스럽게 이야기가 진행을 되고 있다는 그런 뉘앙스가 아닐까요? 그런 생각도 들기는 하는군요. 또 대사나 이제 선택자 하나하나도 좀 고민을 많이 만들게 한단 말이야. 그냥 단순히 손을 잡아준다 이것만으로도 이미 충분히 운치는 있는데 나는 너와 함께 나가는 그 자체가 난 너무나도 소중한 것 같아 라거나 나는 지금 여기 있는 이 상황을 알 수 있지만 너와 함께 한다는 그 다음은 내가 생각할 수 없어. 그리고 난 그 새로운 걸 너와 함께 하고 싶어 라거나 굉장히 아름다운 대사들이 되게 많습니다. 그래서 그런 부분들이 굉장히 제 개인적인 입장에서 마음에 들었던 것 같네요. 근데 놀라운 게 이거 번역한 사람이 더 대단한 것 같아. 분명히 개인이 번역한 거거든? 근데 번역을 아주 잘했어요. 이게 해외 번역이라서 자칫하면은 이게 원래 본질에 있었던 뜻 같은 게 왜곡되는 경우가 많이 있을 텐데 그런 부분은 감내해서 잘 번역을 해준 것 같긴 합니다. 물론 번역이 완벽하다라고 하긴 좀 애매합니다. 왜냐하면 애초에 너무 어렵고 난해해서 번역가들도 전문 번역가들도 이거 게임을 한 수십 번 해야 할걸? 그 정도로 아주 어려운 게임이야. 하지만 그럼에도 이렇게 훌륭하게 번역하는 거 보니까 내가 볼 땐 글에 대한 조예가 좀 있는 것 같습니다. 번역가 자체가 살짝 소설이나 문학적인 소양이 좀 있는 것 같아. 그런 게 아니면 이렇게 좋은 문장이 나올 리가 없거든요? 번역가도 나름의 문장력이 있어야 돼요. 그래서 어렵단 말이야. 그냥 구글 번역기에서 대충 문맥 이렇게 하면 맞겠지? 이게 번역가가 아니야. 더구나 이렇게 문장이 중요한 게임은 더더욱이요. 야, 예를 들어서 앤디와 레일리의 관 있잖아. 그거 그냥 구글 번역기 돌리면서 대충 문맥 맞겠지 이런 식으로 하면 그게 번역입니까? 게임에 대한 성격이 전혀 안 나타나잖아요. 그렇기 때문에 문맥과 문장력과 작품에 대한 흐름을 좀 이해해야 훌륭한 번역가라고 할 수 있겠죠. 그런 점에서 정말 훌륭한 번역이었습니다. 근데 여운은 있어. 확실하게 여운은 있어. 잊혀질 것 같은 게임은 아닌 것 같습니다. 자주는 아니더라도 이렇게 좀 작품성이 있는 거 좀 간간히는 해보고 싶네요. 재밌게 플레이했습니다. 번역가한테 진심으로 감사드리고요. 이 게임은 여기서 끝내도록 하죠.